Over the past decade, DJ Sliqe has built strong connections with industry people which helped him grow up and stay relevant for a very long time. The controversial public figure, Nota, is one of the people that played a very important role in shaping DJ Sliqe's career. With over 3 studio albums and 3 EPs, DJ Sliqe is by far the most successful hip-hop DJ in South African music history, but he is somehow overlooked. Sliqe is the first hip-hop DJ to win a Summer Award. He has close to 20 music videos. Most of his singles are certified gold, some platinum, but somehow people don't seem to respect his craft. I was bumping Injayam Volume 3 the other day and I asked myself, why do people seem to overlook Sliqe? Is it because he is a DJ and therefore people gravitate and respect the rappers that spit the lyrics? Or maybe is it because he comes from a wealthy family and therefore people don't relate to him because he is a cheese boy? Or maybe, just maybe, his image is too clean and therefore people don't know much about him. Either way, I thought I should make a video about DJ Sliqe's career. Maybe some people will walk away from this with a different perspective of this guy. Make sure you stick until the end of the video in order to understand the whole story. Now, without further ado, let's get started with this video. Sliqe was born and raised in Shawela, a small community popularly known for having a lot of Chivenda and Chitonga tribes in Soweto. Sliqe was born to a middle-class Venda parents who made sure that he got the best of everything, including his education. Although he grew up in the south, Sliqe wasn't necessarily poor. He and his family lived a decent life. He is what you call in a township a cheese boy. Sliqe was an A student both in primary and in high school. The name Sliqe though comes from his mixed days. It was his username. Before Facebook and other social media apps became popular, South African youth was hooked on this app called Mixit, including me. It's a pity that I don't remember my username. During his matric year, Sliqe moved out of his parents' house and rented a house alongside his friends. According to Sliqe, their landlord was a shady guy, possibly a gangster low-key. One day, he just pulled up with a full sound system which included DJ decks. At that point, Sliqe had already been practicing his DJing skills on virtual DJ, playing house music before he made the transition to hip-hop. Sliqe spent hours polishing his DJing skills on the equipment his landlord brought. Plus, there were no DJs at his school, so he wanted to play a set at his matric farewell. After he graduated from high school, he applied at UJ and did a computer science course. He really didn't like the course but did it anyway because he wanted to impress his dad, who was skeptical of his music dreams. While at UJ, one of his friends introduced him to DJ Capital and they quickly formed a bond. Capital was already bubbling and knew a lot of people in the entertainment industry. Sliqe then became Capital's protege. Capital took Sliqe to gigs, studio sessions, and helped him organize some small events around Braamfontein. In one of those studio sessions, he met this guy, Cypher. Some of you might know him as Ajax from Generations or other acting gigs. But anyway, Sliqe asked Cypher to help him make a song. Cypher agreed but charged him. Since money was not a problem for Sliqe, he came back and selected an instrumental from Cypher's library.
Cypher, the number? What does it take for me to like just to come out here? I found out they said you need some racks. You need about 5 bands at least. I said, let me go run it up.
You had to.
Let me go run it up. And I did. And then I called him, went to studio with like a friend of mine and another friend of mine, like Fifi and Kev. And the initial song, Do Like I Do, was like found and created that night. And then Cypher called me that day and said, yo, I played that song for Questa and he'd like to do it. So when he called me and said, Questa wants to do it, yeah, I came to studio and I came bearing gifts.
Of course. Of course.
What y'all need?
And
then he redid the hook, did the verse from high school. I know, thank you. I know a friend of mine, Leander. His brother is Nkuli, late Flower.
Mm.
So I say, yo, bro, can you maybe ask your brother to hop on the track? And then...
Oh, you asked the brother?
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say the niggas plugged you.
No, I asked the brother. The brother said, cool. He heard the song and said, fire. And...
After the song was done, Sliqe had no idea how to market the song. Plus, he was still independent. It's not like he was signed to a record label. He never made a song before in his life and didn't have his huge social media presence. At that time, Nota was still managing Kwesta. Nota also knew that the success of the song would also benefit Kwesta. So, Sliqe funded the music video while Nota focused on different strategies to market the song online. The song eventually blew up in the streets, especially after the release of the music video. Nota also went to Sony and convinced them to sign Sliqe. Here's a clip of Sliqe talking about Nota's contribution.
So you had singles after the...
Hey man, also I'm gonna have to plug Nota, yeah? Because he was the one advising me.
I don't want us to ever be ashamed of giving Nota his deb.
Yeah, because he really did plug me as a kid, bro.
Be dabbed.
He was like, yo, put this thing on Tatafal host. Yo, promote this thing. Yo, go do match. Yo, shoot a video. Yo. I was just like, okay, what next?
Nota is right a lot, guys. As I've said this.
And then Nota went to Bradley at Sony and said, there's this hip-hop kid. He can do it. He can be the first DJ to do things of hip-hop. And then Bradley said, bring him. And then that's how the remix happened. Bradley said, I want the remix of this. You know? And then, how did I meet Tweezy? There's somewhere that I met Tweezy. And that's how the next couple of songs came about. And then I just had a great relationship with Tweezy. And then,
that's who you made the first album with. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, and that's how like...
After Nota went to Sony, Sony signed Sliqe and released the remix of Do Like I Do, which eventually won Remix of the Year at the Summer Awards that year, making DJ Sliqe the only hip-hop DJ in history to win such an award. Then he linked up with Tweezy and started working on his debut album, Injayam Volume 1. The album featured many hip-hop heavyweights at the time and had a diverse sound palette. Kwaito bangers, club bangers, trap soul, R&B and barring joints were all included on the album. The overall album had no storyline. It just sounded like a collection of dope songs that Sliqe made in the studio with his friends. A live featuring JR, OK Malum Cool Cat and Witness the Funk was released as the first single. The song did well on the charts and proved that Sliqe is not a one-hit wonder, officially solidifying his status. Now, since he was signed to Sony, he had access to marketing professionals. His album was carefully marketed and performed well in many singles, received gold status from RISA. Injayam Volume 1 also won SA Hip Hop Award for Best Mixtape. In 2017, Sliqe was still shooting music videos and was on tour for Injayam Volume 1. After the tour, he went to the studio and started working on his next album, this time around with Makwa instead of Tweezy. Also bear in mind that Sliqe didn't compose any music at that point. He just provided direction for the music and organized studio sessions with different artists. Then Tweezy or Makwa would sit in studio and physically compose the music on FL Studio or whatever DAW they were using at the time. In 2018, Sliqe started producing music by watching online tutorials and getting help from his producer friends. Anyway, while working on his second studio album, Injayam Volume 2, he realized that they created too much music. So he took half of the songs and created an EP called Navy Black while finalizing his album, Injayam Volume 2. The name Navy Black was inspired by his breakup at the time. A breakup with his girlfriend and his heart was so hurt that it turned navy black according to him. Unlike his previous album, Sliqe didn't promote this EP that much. But there was still good music on that project. In fact, my favorite song is Oh Well featuring Sai Ari the Kid, aka and Makwa. In October 2019, Sliqe returned with the long-awaited Injayam Volume 2. The project featured both established and up-and-coming rappers. Heavyweights like Casper Nyovest, Questa, KO, MT, Anati, and others appears on songs alongside Maglera Dope Boy, The Big Hash, Naila Ayla, and others. There's also a song called Injayam with KO and MT, which is an absolute banger according to me, I guess. Injayam Volume 2 was a success, but nothing compared to Injayam Volume 1 though. As the year ended, Sliqe kept on doing gigs until the COVID-19 pandemic hit in early 2020. During lockdown, Sliqe was approached by Sony for an A&R job. In case you don't know, A&R means artist and repertoire. Their job is to search for talent on behalf of the record label and sign them. They also develop existing brands in the label and help them with marketing their brands. As the head of A&R, Sliqe signed 25K to Sony in 2020 and helped release his debut album, Pheli Makaveli. He also collaborated with 25K and Maglera Dope Boy on a 6-track EP called Champion Music. The production of Champion Music is totally different from his previous music. When asked why he chose a different approach on the EP, this is what he had to say.
So we're doing like a gym playlist.
Yeah.
And we're playing like a whole lot of hip hop that like inspires you to, because you know, like hip hop is an emotion, you can wear it. Like it makes you, if you're down, you can wear a track and then it makes you feel like,
Got you.
you know what I mean?
Like the Meek Mills and the Rick
Yeah, it makes you, you know what I mean? So we made a playlist off of that. Then we called it Champion Music. Then I was like, Champion Music, nah. This music that motivates you, this music that makes you feel like I can achieve anything right now.
Yeah.
Oh, Mount Everest, let's go. Tomorrow, comrades, let's go. What? Like you know? So then I was like, yeah, how about some music with some horns? I do like, like, because when you think maybe heaven, what's the first sound you can think of? And then eventually, when this body of work came together with McLaren 25, we called it Champion Music because it was motivational music for people anyway, but mostly like our kind of people, like, you know.
Although Champion Music was not a major success, it did build a strong musical connection between 25K, Glary, and DJ Sliqe. Then in 2022, Sliqe left his A&R job at Sony and went back to making music full-time. According to him, he accepted the job at Sony because he wanted to learn how major record labels operate from within, then use that knowledge to push his own music, Kennel Music. A few months later, Sliqe announced a single called Stay Soft and the release date of his EP Champion Music 2 alongside 25K and Maglera Dope Boy. Stay Soft featured MT, 25K and Flo Jones Jr. and became an instant hit. By the time the EP dropped, fans consumed the music like hot muffins. Champion Music became successful so much that it brought back Sliqe to the forefront of hip-hop again. From there, he occasionally dropped bangers while doing interviews on podcasts to get himself out there. These podcast interviews were not random though. Sliqe was rolling out his third album, Injayam Volume 3, which is a double disc album. Side A of the album includes more hip-hop orientated sounds, while Side B is heavily influenced by Kwaito. Side A was released in 11 October 2024, while Side B was released in early December of the same year. Lead singles of the album included Kiki and Bass Bass. With Injayam Volume 3, Sliqe showcases his signature sound while featuring an impressive lineup of artists. With a career spanning over a decade, DJ Sliqe has consistently pushed boundaries of South African hip-hop. His legacy will live on and inspire the next generation of artists. Yes, Sliqe comes from a well-off family. His first few albums were produced by other people and he used his friends and connections to get ahead in his career. But honestly, does that make him a horrible person or a terrible artist? Well, I don't know. You let me know in the comment section.